Welcome to the ANEW Body Insight podcast, empowering and inspiring your journey to optimal health. Hosted by Dr. Supatra Tovar, clinical psychologist, registered dietitian, fitness expert, and author of Deprogrammed Diet Culture. Rethink your relationship with food, heal your mind, and live a diet-free life. And Chantal Donnelly, physical therapist and author of Settled, How to Find Calm in a Stress-Inducing World. Here at City Club Los Angeles, we follow our guests' journey to optimal health, providing you with the keys to unlock your own wellness path. Tune in and evolve with us. Welcome back to the ANEW Body Insight podcast. I am Dr. Supatra Tovar, and we are back for the second half of our interview with Drs. Nazanin Moali and Dr. Richard Espinoza from LA Love Lab. Welcome back, you two. These amazing doctors gave us some very invaluable insight into their matchmaking service, and it is really fabulous. If you didn't hear the first half, you got to go back and you have to listen because it's really unique and I think very healing and wonderful for people to be able to participate in something like this and improve their relationship skills. We are going to learn more, and we're going to hopefully help you find your next match. So let's talk about ways that individuals can approach and understand their own needs in a relationship and better communicate them. How do they discover that?
Well, I would say the beginning piece that I talk about with my clients is to think about your life in three sections in relationship: your emotional need, relational need, and sexual need. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to reflect in your past relationships. What were some of the things in each of these categories that worked for you, and what were some of the things that did not work for you? And then as you're going through these descriptions and these needs, identify which ones they are deal breakers for you. So if the person doesn't have that, it's a deal breaker, and which ones are the preferences. And I think sometimes maybe visualizing yourself, I mean, 20 years I'm with this person. Do I want to have for them to have all of it? Is it essential? Or if they have the 5-6 basic needs that my need that they can meet, that's enough for me. So I think identifying that is really helpful when you are like examining your previous relationships.
Absolutely. But sex is one thing that I think a lot of people are very hesitant. There's a lot of taboos. They are, shy about that. You have your sexology podcast. It's really good. And she has a lot of spicy tips for the bedroom kind of videos also that she puts out onto social media. Awesome. How do people really learn how to get in touch with their sexuality and maybe take out some of that stigma and shame and shyness about it?
Well, Dr. Supatra, you brought up such a great point, right? Sometimes we feel we don't give ourselves permission to be able to attend to our sexual needs because we learn that those are not needs, right? Those are luxuries in the relationship. But pleasure is the right of every single person. So kind of like knowing that you deserve pleasure is the first step. There's nothing wrong about wanting to have pleasure, and kind of like looking into what is the meaning of sex for you. For some people, meaning of sex is connection. For some people, is adventure, is sensuality. Understanding what is the meaning of sex for you, it can help you to relax and be more comfortable, have a better relationship with sexuality. Because many people, like, their understanding of sex is what they see in porn.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with porn, but that's not like everyday sex.
No, not
so
realistic.
It's important, to know what is it about sex that makes it important for you.
Exactly. And let's expand on porn. I mean, do you, in your practices, help people, say with porn addiction, or really discerning the difference between, porn sex and real sex? Because I think a lot of people, especially men, get very confused in that arena.
Yes. Yeah. And one thing I like to emphasize with the people I work with too is whether we like it or not. And I emphasize this to parents a lot too. Pornography is educational, whether we like it or not. So be very mindful of the education you're receiving for that. Because it is. I've worked with so many LGBTQ individuals who tell me that inadvertently porn was educational and they were just trying to mimic what they saw on their screen or their device and so forth, which that can form its own addiction. The device it's on itself can be addicting for that. So a person doesn't even have to meet the diagnostic criteria for a porn addiction for that. But I've heard that so often, especially with LGBTQ men in particular, so not L, so GBTQ individuals, that I've heard a lot of queer mask-presenting people wonder, am I a sex addict? I'm thinking about sex so much. Culture tells me it's taboo. Society tells me it's taboo. So I think just dumping everything into the pot on that and exploring that, yes, that's something that definitely needs to be explored with clients for that.
Absolutely. And I think porn, certain areas of porn lend themselves more to like violence, especially violence against women. How do you help people maybe reformulate their view of sex to be less violent?
I talk about this concept of erotic blueprint with my client. Erotic blueprint is like unique for each person. All the memories, things, emotion that makes something sexy for you is part of your erotic blueprint. Unfortunately, many people, their early memories of sex is around porn, what they watched in porn. And I'm not against porn, but it's not sex education. As Dr. E mentioned, it's what's available, right? That's how people learn about sex. But that can kind of really form and create rigidity around our sexual fantasies. So what I invite people to do is think about it as a entertainment. The same way that we're watching these rom-com movies. Say, oh, this is fun, but I don't learn relationship from rom-com movie. I don't expect my partner to ride a horse for miles and miles to come capture me.
Do you expect mine? He needs to ride a horse.
I love it. It's a preference.
That was like in my profile, must ride horse.
For miles.
A white horse and come save me. Yes.
Well, we can role play Bridgerton. Maybe.
As long as we get the costumes.
Right. But in reality, right, like what we think it's maintenance sex, everyday sex, that's not what we see in porn. So kind of understanding it, recognizing it is helpful, and also increasing fantasies in our erotic blueprint, right? I have so many clients, they develop this rigidity. I only climax to this part of the porn, and if the porn is not on, then I'm not able to climax, right? So kind of thinking about maybe close your eyes, think about your fantasies, or maybe co-create something with your partner in the room. So I think these are all the ways that can help us to embrace our eroticism without getting fixated on porn.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to pivot away from porn for a second. And you, in the last half, were talking about how you get someone to the curated date. They go on the quiz, they take the quiz, they attend the workshop, they get help with communication skills, then you curate the match. Let's walk through what a curated first date looks like. What do they do? Where do they go? Tell me.